Hello. We have Phil Wong, a Democratic candidate to New York City Council District 30, with, like I said before, which covers the district covers like Ridgewood, Maspeth, Mill Village, Glendale, Elmhurst, and Rego Park. Phil was also CEC 24 president, supporting, among others, starting new Polish bilingual program in School 153, together with Dr. Chan, superintendent, together with the together with Councilman Holden, together with Fundacja Dobra Polska Szkoła and Andrzej Cierkosz, and the program is going well right now. We have third grade, so we have several classes and other kids coming, and also Phil was very strong with supporting SHAT. So I mean, specialized high school admission test to be still in counting to the admission to the specialized high school, and we're great for that support, because, as you say before, the education is very important for you. And based on that, how do you see this experience from CC 24? How this experience shape your view on district, on the school district?
I grew up in a family that firmly believes education is important. In fact, most of the time at the dinner table, we only talk about education. How was your homework? How was school? So I grew up believing that education is the way to get out of poverty, is the way to move up in a society, and is the way to get any respect in any country. And my family moved to the United States in 1974 from Hong Kong, which is now part of mainland China. We escaped. My family, my grandparents escaped to Hong Kong from communist China. When they turned communist in 1949, they escaped to Hong Kong. And when Hong Kong had riots and communists want to liberate Hong Kong, he left there for good, came to the United States. We appreciate what the country is giving us, give us a new life and a new opportunity to start. So we start fresh. I attended public schools here. I moved into Queens in 1976 and attended public schools here, District 24, PS 102, IS 73. I was married in 1997. I have 3 daughters, and all of them went to public schools right here. I believe in public schools, and I want to make them better, and I have signed up to serve at the school board, CEC 24. I was there for a total of 4 years, and the last 2 years I served as president. And I learned a lot, and I also worked hard with the parents, teachers, the superintendent to make our schools better, and I'm proud of those years I spent at the CEC, and I'm really honored to get invited to talk about my experience there. But what is important is parent contribution is important. Parents have to tell the teachers, tell the superintendents what the kids should be learning, not the teachers. The parents decide. So that's important, and it took me a while to learn that, right? And then that is the same message I need to deliver every day today to newly arrived parents.
You very support gifted and talented program, bilingual program, because you believe that the cultural and accelerated education give a better profit for kids.
That is correct, yes.
And it was not always easy, because we have a lot of regulations, but I know that going that way, you can have opportunity that your kids will pick in English, of course, and home language, depends what language parents come from, and both education process support each other, so better speaking in English and better speaking in home language too. So what specific policy would you champion to expand gifted and talented program and keep the admission test?
Yeah, well, when I went to junior high school here in the late 70s, every public school have a gifted and talented program. So where kids were selected and referred to the program. Then due to all sorts of budget issues over the years, the fewer and fewer schools offer gifted and talented program. We are down to a handful now in School District 24, and it's very disappointing because we have thousands of kids who wanted to sign up, and at first you take a test, and now you don't even take a test anymore for the gifted and talent program. It's by referrals or recommendations, which can be very subjective and may not be truly reflect what the child can or cannot do. And if I'm elected, number one, I'm going to promote gifted and talent program be brought back to every school. Every school should have it. And two, bring back a better system of screening for kids. They have to look at the grades and not by any personal recommendation of a teacher. And that is wrong, because once you add in personal opinions and factors, you're going to distort the grading of the child, and you really cannot tell whether the child just a teacher's pet and the teachers want him to be in the gifted and talent program, or is it the child could really make it. So I firmly believe we need a merit-based system for gifted and talented programs. It should not be any lotteries. It should not be any random recommendations made by teachers. It should be a strictly screening by grades, and these programs should exist in every school.
For everyone who don't know, Gifted and Talented program is program which support accelerated learning. So that means the student learn more about every topic. This is not mean just like, we have only genius. We just like kids like everyone, but they learn more because they like learning and they have support from home. They have support from their parents, from siblings. Where we just cultivate education as number one. And we also know that when you're running, you're probably thinking about, of course, when I win, so looking myself somewhere in the city hall. Do you think about the Commission of Education or other commissions be part of?
Being a councilman of a district, you have to listen to everybody's needs. So we have kids here that may not be able to do well in the regular curriculum. That's why we have special ed, we have IEPs. We also have kids that learn so fast, they are way ahead of everybody else. We got to take care of them too. That's why we have gifted and talented programs. And yes, to use my experience as CEC president, I would fight to serve in the education committee. I would fight to make sure that parents' voices are heard. And right now, parents may not be heard unless you go to the CEC meetings, right? I want City Hall, I want the Speaker of the Council to hear what the parents' needs are, so they have a better, they can make better decisions when they pass budgets that relates to education or pass laws that relate to education.
Well, I hear that you have financial experience, so and you can clearly see these numbers. Do you have any ideas how to a little bit look at the city budget, and do you have some ideas to change?
Yeah, well, my current position with Councilman Holden is the budget director. So my current job involves allocating funds for nonprofit organizations. I also secure funds for the parks department, for schools, and for like major repairs of the whole district, not just schools or parks, but also streets, plant trees, to cleanups of parks and so forth. So I could do a very good job of identifying waste. So if the opportunity comes, I would point out that some of the resources can be better utilized, and instead of spending it on expensive upgrades, we could spend it spend it more on kids rather than on like equipment or on facilities, because I think that is less important than having a better educational experience for our kids, and that's the ultimate goal of the school system.
All right, we are in situation, it's like third year when the class size is changing, still in the process. I guess we should reach like 60% of right now in this year.
Right.
We have 2 more years to reach 100% of schools. I hear that Mayor right now announced that he will support this, but also hiring the teachers. What is your idea on this?
Well, in our district is very diverse. We have schools that are over capacity, 120%, 130% capacity. But in parts of the other side of the district, like Ridgewood, we have under enrollment. We have schools that are with plenty of empty classrooms. So how do we balance it out? It can be very challenging. And right now, DOE solution is to open up another school inside the school, so to co-locate. Now, the recent outrage was that in Ridgewood they want to open a high school inside a middle school, and I know that doesn't work because previously there was a high school there already, and then we have tables that are just too short for high school kids. We have bathroom facilities that are just not suited, and then when you have high school kids mingling with middle school kids, there are a lot of disagreements and conflicts brought out, and it doesn't work back then, and now DOE really needs to know that it's not going to work now. You put a different high school in. When you put a middle school in or a District 75 school in, we know that works. Co-location works if it's the same schools. Now, back over here in the side where all the schools are crowded, the small class size mandate requires fewer students per classroom, which also means they have to hire more teachers and find the space to house the teachers and move the kids to these new rooms. Yes, you read in the newspapers the mayor will be hiring 3,700 new teachers. All right, so that's good, but no one talk about where are they going to put them. Do we have 3,700 classrooms out there? And I know the answer is no. I know. So I asked, where are you going to put the teachers? And no one could tell me. Are you going to put 2 in every classroom, or are you going to put trailers in and build it in the park? There's no funding for that. Where's the funding for the trailers, right? So those are big issues that's coming up, and then I myself can provide a lot of input to that because I know I visited a lot of schools when I was CEC president, and then I could address some issues immediately, and I know more than the people in the headquarters about the situations in the district, and I could definitely provide input to make this work. And we cannot build schools. Takes a long time to build, right? So we might have to look at it. If you don't have the classrooms, how are you going to enforce the small class size law? Right? And I heard that. No, there's a will, there's a way. I heard that many times. There's a will, there's a way. So no one can show me the way. A lot of people have the will, but show me the way. Nobody can show me.
Well, that's everything in front of us. Let's see what's happened. I'm happy that Phil, you just deeply support the education process, and this is actually, that this is 1/3 of our budget, New York City budget, going to schools.
We know this is the single category of the New York City budget. What is it? 35%, whatever the percentage is, and no city in this country spends more on education per child than New York City, and we're not getting very good results.
Well, that's another problem. I think as a parent, we both parents, so I can say that this is my most pressure investment. It's in my kids, and of course, it's important that parents need to be here, need to be partners with discussion with DOE, with the teachers, with the schools, with the administrators. And many times we feel that, I feel just like that parents are listening, but nobody.
Correct. And it is the job of the parents to step up, to tell the principal, to tell the teachers that, hey, there's an issue here. That's unacceptable. We need to tell the kids what to learn, not the books that you're bringing in. I found a lot of teaching materials is absolutely unacceptable for kids as a parent. And a lot of parents didn't know that what their kids are learning in school. And that is wrong and that is bad, right? And also after the pandemic, we lost a lot of kids. And either they moved out of the city. There's a survey done by DOE that the data is out there. I didn't read it yet, but either they enroll in charter schools or they enroll in private schools, or they simply move to another state and they're not coming back. So we have to look at ourselves in the mirror, like what is it that we're doing wrong in our schools that for so many parents to leave and not come back, right? Because if we can find the flaws and the problems and fix them, we're gonna have more kids. And when we have more kids, we can get more funding. That's how funding works. We get funding per child. We lose kids, we lose funding, and that's bad.
So that centralizing system, like giving more power for the PTAs, for the parents, for the districts, for the councilmen, for the superintendents who are inside, around, and they know technically, practically, they know more and they know better what the students need at this area.
Absolutely.
All right. So we have in New York City free education for everyone, but we still see kids on the streets working, selling stuff. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it breaks my heart. I walk down Corona Avenue. I walk down Roosevelt Avenue. I drive down the Long Island Expressway. Right? I lost count of how many times I see mothers bring their kids, bring their babies. They sell bottled water, chocolate, churros, and I see them early in the morning. I see them in the afternoon. I see them late at night, and I have not seen a single counselor from our school system who go up to them and say, "Hey, you need to send your kids to school." Right? That is a problem because in a couple of years, these kids will reach adolescence, and if they don't go to school, there's nothing for them to do, right? When that happens, they're going to cause trouble to the society. Right? They may join gangs or get involved with the wrong people, and that's how we got a lot of street gangs. If you look back for the past couple of years, the MS-13 gang, and those members trace back to childs that were neglected, child with no parents, or they were in a foster family and they lost track of the kids. It is our job to make sure they're educated, right? And we cannot just leave them in the streets, because a couple of years down the line, they're going to cause a lot of trouble and be a big burden to our society. And this is like happening right at our doorsteps, right here, right? And I cannot live like that. I lose sleep at night. Why can't I leave my kids? I don't want to leave my daughter in the streets, right? I don't want to leave them on the streets, right? So we have the space. We have empty classrooms. Let's help them out. And that's what I would do.
All right. Now let's talk about housing.
Housing, yes.
Housing policy in New York City. How you see this problem? Because we have still many people especially students also. We have students in shelters. We have people in shelters.
Right.
We have people on the street also, like you said before. They're living in the street. And now money from federal government are closed. There's no more money, no more support. How the city could work on this?
Okay. I got involved because the hotel at the end of my block was converted to a shelter by de Blasio. And because I face the shelter every day, in fact, two of my windows, when I look out the window, I see Pan Am out the window. I can see them every day. And I noticed that this system, shelter system, warehouses the homeless. They do not help them to get out of the shelter system, right? Because they get paid only by the number of people they house. If they lose people in the shelter system, the operators get less money. So in the business model of New York City shelters, for them to make money, they have to keep people in shelters, right? And the purpose of a shelter is to help them to find housing. And New York City failed miserably in that aspect, right? So I believe that when the city houses a family, they can stay for a certain number of months, but there should be a team of people that help them immediately. One, provide healthcare services. Two, even drug treatments if there are any addictions. And three, help them find housing. And four, help them find a job. I don't see these services being provided in the hotels that are opened by the city, right? And that business model is wrong. And then if I get to serve in the homeless committee, I would change that. I would change that. You want to come into the shelter, you have to agree that we're going to put you to housing. When you get a voucher, you move out. When you get a job referral, you show up to work. When you send you to see a doctor to treat your addiction, you have to show up. Those are the things we are missing in the shelter system, and they end up like when there's nothing for them to do, when they have a mental condition that's not treated, they do all sorts of like crazy things that we read in the newspaper, right? And then that's bad. That's bad. And the subways is not a mental health hospital. Subways is not a place to sleep, but New York City is doing such a horrible job in housing, in solving the homeless crisis. A lot of them end up in sleeping in subways, in stations, under the highway, and that's wrong.
Well, we have stride from housing to security, and city have a lot of some cops are visible, some policemen are visible on the street, some policemen just like working hard. There's more policemen, but this is still a situation that we not feel safe.
Right, and we have to go back to Mayor de Blasio again. He defunded over $1 billion from the police, NYPD, and this money has never been restored. And on top of that, the bad morale, and then all these laws that tying the hands of the police, we have a lot of them retiring, and we have fewer and fewer people interested in joining the police force. Okay, so right now the writing is on the wall. We don't have enough police officers in the streets, and the solution now is to everyone have overtime. And instead of reporting that we don't have enough police officers, you see the media only want to talk about everyone's overtime, right? Now, if you hire more police officers, you don't need the overtime. Then there's more. You have more hands. You have more shifts, and we're not getting patrolling. Police don't have the manpower to patrol our streets anymore. We have a police that no longer patrol the subways anymore. Our governor has to send in the National Guard, right? Who does not have the police power. They can only stand there. They cannot do arrests, and they don't enforce the law. They can only stand there, and that is wrong. That's wrong. Instead of hiring the National Guard, why don't you give a budget to the city to hire more police officers? We need now. Cuomo got it right, and then some other candidates got it right. We got to hire more police officers. But we need it now. We need more police officers for the past 2-3 years, because we don't have enough people in the streets. We don't have enough school safety agents. They're in the same budget. Okay, we don't have enough school security, and I think it's part of the problem. When parents see that schools are not safe, they think about other places to send their kids to school, and I think that is a important reason why we've been losing kids in our public school system.
So after public schools, after elementary, middle, high school, we should to pass to college.
That's right.
And you have also great experience in this area because your daughters already on this etap of life. What's happened with your family?
Well, I have 3 daughters, and they all graduated from college. the oldest one finished her master's and is thinking about getting her PhD program. Right now, she's doing research at Northwell Hospital on treatments of new treatments on infectious diseases. My second daughter graduated from Queens College in digital media, and she's now doing some part-time work, and she's looking for a full-time job. My youngest daughter is now a second-year student at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute studying computer engineering. And I want to talk about her because my youngest daughter applied to Harvard, and she was rejected. And we felt that it was unfair because they did not look at her grades, they did not look at her SAT scores, and the Harvard prepare what's called personality score after interviewing her, and the score consists of components that have nothing to do with her schoolwork. It has to do with her after-school activities, what she does at home, what she does with her friends. So a couple of years ago, myself, along with some other parents, joined a group called Students for Fair Admissions, SFFA, and we are standing members of the organization, and we took the case to federal court. We lost the federal court, the lower courts, but the United States Supreme Court agreed to hear our case. So it was 2023, June, that the landmark verdict was issued that one, Harvard did discriminate applicants based on race, and Harvard did use metrics to turn away qualified applicants, but they were turned away because they were Asian or because they were white, right? Those two groups have lower personality scores than groups with other racial backgrounds. So we won that case, and right now we are reviewing, make sure the colleges comply to this Supreme Court decision, and it's a landmark case, and it affects admissions to every college in the United States, and then and we'll be hearing all future lawsuits that was referring to this Harvard lawsuit, which we won against all odds, and I'm really proud of being part of that lawsuit.
Well, I would like to. You all see that the field have great experience, especially education, but not only. He just observing. He observing community. He's just working with community, supporting community, and it looks like he's the great candidate for the council man from district to the from city to city hall to support not only own community who knows very well, but also city, New York City at all.